Hello viewers, welcome to the ICAN Current Issues program of the Insights IAS. In this video, we are going to discuss about the current issue which is relevant based on the newspaper. So this video series is going to be there for every day. It is going to be telecasted for 7:30 p.m. from today onwards. And in today's video, we are going to discuss about Maharashtra issue. In this way, on daily basis, we will take up one issue which is in news a lot, and we will discuss 360 degrees view on particular issue, so that it will help in your prelims as well as mains point of view. And when we come back to this issue, in today's video, we are going to discuss about Maharashtra issue. So what happened in the Maharashtra, and what are the takeaway points related to Maharashtra political crisis in our examination point of view, we discuss. Before we start the details of the video, first let me help out in the syllabus mapping. That means how this helps in your syllabus. If you look at here, it helps in your general studies paper 2, that is Indian Constitution, features and significant provisions. And so apart from this, it helps even in your prelims examination point of view also. And in this video, we are going to discuss about why it is in news. That means why this Maharashtra crisis is in news, and why we are discussing in today's video. And the Council of Ministers, composition and constitutional provisions related to Council of Ministers. And you know the students, in Maharashtra, Ajit Pawar, he took oath as a Deputy Chief Minister. So we are going to discuss about the Deputy Chief Minister relevance and historical background of the Deputy Chief Minister, who was the first one to take oath as a Deputy Chief Minister, and in the same way Deputy Prime Minister also we are going to discuss. Apart from this, in this video, we are also going to discuss about the disqualification of MLAs or MPs. Which provisions of the Indian Constitution deals with the disqualification, we will check. So, the context. Why we are discussing this? Ajit Pawar, he took oath as a Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister. This is the context. Now, let me explain about the further details regarding this particular issue. So, this is about Maharashtra. This is about Maharashtra political crisis. Maharashtra political crisis. Here. So the issue is Ajit Pawar as Deputy Chief Minister. As Deputy Chief Minister. So what are the aspects you have to learn in this particular issue? So first you have to know that Deputy Chief Minister. That means you have to know about the Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers in this aspect, Council of Ministers. Then you have to know the provisions of Deputy Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister provision and Deputy Prime Minister provision, you have to know. And what was the Supreme Court observation regarding this post also we will discuss. Apart from this, we will also discuss about the relationship between the President and Council of Ministers. Because if you know the relationship between the President and Council of Ministers, the same applies the relationship between the Governor and Council of Ministers in the state level. This is one aspect you have to learn. And this Ajit Pawar taking the oath as a Deputy Chief Minister means obviously Ajit Pawar belonged to which political party? NCP, Nationalist Congress Party. Okay. So NCP. Now tell me students whether NCP is a national party or not. Answer that in the comment box. Whether NCP is a national party or not. Okay, tell me. So NCP, what the NCP may do? NCP may move disqualification petition. NCP may ask for the disqualification under defection. Disqualification under defection. They may propose for this. Okay, with respect to whom? With respect to Ajit Pawar. Okay, so we'll discuss this aspect. These are the various aspects you have to understand about relevant to this issue. If you are very thorough with this, then you covered the prelims as well as mains aspect. Now let me explain what is this Council of Ministers concept. And once the explanation is done, we'll go through the notes. Okay, fine. You know students, there are different types of governments. There are two types of governments. One type of government is known as parliamentary form of government. Parliamentary form of government, students. The other form of government is presidential form of government, and we are not following the presidential form of government. In parliamentary form of government, what is the major aspect of the parliamentary form of government? In the parliamentary form of government, President is the nominal head. President is the nominal head, whereas in the state level, governor is the nominal head. But the real powers are exercised by the prime minister. Okay, real power or real executive head. A real executive head is the prime minister. Prime minister. Where it is saying, okay, if you refer Article 53, if you refer Article 53 of the Indian Constitution, here it says that all the executive powers are vested with, executive powers are vested with whom? Vested with president. But here you have to understand, president can, okay, discharge this function either independently or with the help of council of ministers, In which condition president will discharge the duties independently, we will discuss in some other videos where we will cover president discretionary powers. We are not discussing here with the help of council of ministers. But whichever the way it is only according to constitution. According to constitution only he can do. He cannot violate the constitution. This is the first aspect you have to understand. Article 53 in the central level. The same applies in the state level also. Okay. Next, so articles related to this parliamentary form of government. Further articles, if you check here, Article 74 and Article 75. What is this Article 74 is saying that? Article 74 is saying that Council of Ministers will aid and advise the President. Council of Ministers are going to be aid and advise the President, and the advice given by the Council of Ministers can return the President once. But if the same advice given to the President, then that advice has to be followed by the President. Now we are not going into these details. Okay. So these articles contain 74 Article Clause 1 and 74 Clause 2. This is about the judicial review. Okay. It is not relevant to this present article. Next, Article 75. This is very, very important. Now we are going to discuss about this article. Article 75 Clause 1. It says that Prime Minister appointed by the President. In the state level, Chief Minister is appointed by the Governor. And on the advice of Prime Minister, Council of Ministers are appointed by the President. Here you have to understand, Council of Ministers are appointed by the President only on the advice of Prime Minister. President cannot appoint whoever he likes. He cannot do. No, that kind of discretionary powers are there. Recently, in Tamil Nadu, what happened? So, Governor exercised the doctrine of pleasure. Actually, that is constitutionally wrong. That we will discuss in the next clause. This is the first clause. Okay, fine. The second one, Article 75 1A. It says that the Council of Ministers should not be more than 15% of the total strength of Lok Sabha. Total strength of the Lok Sabha students. Why this provision was included? This provision was included to discourage the defection between the parties. Okay. Then 75 1B. Once a person is disqualified as a member, disqualification as a member, that means as a member of the House, automatically he will be disqualified from the minister also. Disqualification from minister. This provision you must know. Apart from these, then you have to know about Article 75 Clause 2. Article 75 Clause 2, it says that what it is saying? It's saying that the Prime Minister, okay, the Council of Ministers mainly, the Council of Ministers are on the pleasure of the President. That means, so President can remove the Prime Minister and ministers. Here you have to understand, the students, pleasure of the President means here, pleasure of the President is nothing but majority in the lower house. That means, as long as the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers, they are having the majority in the lower house, they continue with the government. If they lost the majority in the lower house, they have to resign. If they don't resign, then President may ask them to resign or President may dismiss them. That is the only situation. Now tell me, in Tamil Nadu, without taking the chief minister advice or without asking them to prove the majority, governor dismiss the minister. Okay, always remember, president or governor, they cannot dismiss the individual ministers. Okay, who can remove them? The only house can remove them. In case if president want to remove individual minister, that can be done only on the advice of the president. Okay, here the continuation to this article 75 clause 3. Here it is saying that council of ministers are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha, collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. That means only council of ministers can collectively removed, but they cannot be removed individually. Very, very important. They cannot be removed individually by the house. They can be removed individually only by the president on the advice of the prime minister. Article 75 clause 4. It talks about the president. Okay, president takes the oath of ministers. Normally we are quoting the articles related to president. The similar to we have the governor. Why we are discussing about this president now? Because generally these are the questions very frequently appear in the prelims. President takes the oath of the ministers as well as the prime minister. Here you have to understand, students, there is no separate oath for deputy prime minister. There is no separate oath for deputy prime minister. The same in the state level also, there is no separate oath for the deputy chief minister. You have to understand. Article 75 clause 5. It talks about, students, normally if you want to become a minister, you should have a membership either in the Lok Sabha or in the Rajya Sabha. In the state level, you should have membership in the assembly or council. But there is one exception. That is what article 75 clause 5 says. What is this article is saying? It is saying that a person without having membership in the legislature, without having membership in legislature can act as minister maximum for how many months? Maximum for 6 months. Maximum for 6 months. You have to understand this. That means, for example, I'll give an example. Our present foreign minister, okay, Jaishankar Subramaniam, when he was appointed as a foreign minister, he was not having the membership either in the Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Initially he was appointed as a minister, then he got the membership in the Rajya Sabha. Same applies when Uddhav Thackeray became the chief minister of Maharashtra. He was not having the membership in assembly or council. Later he became an MLC. So this is about the article 75 clause 5. Then article 75 clause 6, it talks about the salaries and allowances. Okay, salaries and allowances. So with this we discussed about the other provisions related to ministers, and we also discussed that president must act on the aid and advice of the council of ministers. And when we go back, so what we supposed to discuss? Ajit Pawar given the deputy chief minister. A deputy chief minister is one of the minister, and we discussed about all the executive powers are vested with the president, article 53, and council of ministers are aid and advise the president, and the 75 other provisions of the ministers. And we also discussed that deputy prime minister or deputy chief minister, they don't perform any separate oath. So this aspect of the issue we discussed. Next, the disqualification we are going to discuss. Okay, listen students, first you have to understand, in democracy, what are the major pillars in the democracy? Political parties. In India, a candidate can contest in election either independently or political parties. Okay, so when a person win in the election on a particular political party, that representative of a political party, who won on one political party cannot change his loyalties. That means he cannot join with another political party, cannot change loyalties to another party. Here loyalties means It may be explicit or it may be the implicit. Okay, he cannot join with the political party, or implicitly also he cannot support another political party by criticizing your political party. Okay, initially if the political party notices that kind of behavior, they may issue the whip. If the whip is not followed by the candidate, then the person will be considered as disqualification. Regarding the disqualification, Article 102 speaks about the disqualification. According to Article 102, a person can be disqualified in two ways: Article 102 Clause 1 and Article 102 Clause 2. This news is about Article 102 Clause 2. We are not discussing about the Article 102 Clause 1, because Article 102 Clause 1, it talks about disqualification on the grounds of loss of citizenship, disqualification on the grounds of loss of citizenship, or disqualification on the grounds of office of profits, or disqualification based on the insolvency, and disqualification based on the, so if a person having unsound mind, and finally disqualification according to Parliament law, a law made by the Parliament. This generally will discuss in the Representation of People Act 1951. This is the first grounds. This is the Article 102 Clause 2. Article 102 Clause 2 specifically talks about disqualification under defection. Now, Ajit Pawar, because he shifted from NCP to this coalition government of Shiva Sena and BJP, he may be disqualified. Okay, in case if he unable to show that he got enough majority, that we will discuss disqualification under defection. So, in which condition a person will be considered as disqualification under defection? Disqualification under defection. What does it mean? Disqualification under defection. So, this is about Article 102 Clause 2. So, as an aspirant, you have to know that first. What does it mean? It means that if a member voluntarily resigned to his political party, voluntarily resignation to his political party, this is one condition. Then, second condition, if a member not following party whip, whip is a person who controls the members' behavior in the house. And third one, if a member joins into another party, that is what now we are discussing, into another party. Very frequently it happens, okay, due to various reasons. And fourth one is independent member, a member independently elected without the support of any political party. Independent member joining into any party, because voters believed that the person remain independent, but if he joins with a particular political party, he will be disqualified. And finally, this concept tested recently in UPSC prelims, might be in 2022, I think so. Nominated member. You know the students, we have nominated members in the Rajya Sabha, 12 members. Previously, we used to have Anglo-Indian nominated members in Lok Sabha. We discontinued that with the 104th Constitution Amendment Act. Nominated members can join in any political party, within how many months? Okay, within 6 months of their election. That window period is there. After 6 months, they cannot join into any political party. If they so, they will be disqualified. This is the disqualification. Now, what is the argument from the NCP? Now, the NCP, they already given a petition to the speaker, presiding officer, because all these decisions are taken by whom? All these decisions are taken by the presiding officer. Now, they given the letter to presiding officer that please disqualify Ajit Pawar and MLAs who accompanying him. But presiding officer, if he before he takes the decision, he may check whether these are the only MLAs or he can avail the exemption. Ajit Pawar can escape this disqualification in which way? For example, out of the NCP, if two-third MLAs of NCP, that means it is around 36 MLAs. Around two-thirds MLAs of NCP, if they join along with him in the any party, then they may be exempted from the disqualification. So now, Speaker may give some time to check the strength, or Ajit Pawar may go to the Election Commission and he can claim that this entire political party belonged to him, like how this Eknath Shinde claimed with respect to Shiv Sena. These are going to be the consequences we will see in future. But anyhow, so these are the two aspects we have to know, students, regarding Ajit Pawar giving the post of Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Already explained you regarding the parliamentary form of government. In India, the concept of ministers, it started with the Indian Councils Act 1861. Lord Canning was the first one who introduced the portfolio system. Then Article 74, 75 Clause 1, I explained to you. And regarding the oath, salary and allowances also, we covered. And Article 77, 78, we will discuss at appropriate time. Article 77 says that all the transactions of the Union Executive, they will be done on the name of the President. Article 78 so talks about the relationship between the Prime Minister and President. In fact, President responsibilities it talks about. Article 88 says that ministers, they can have the membership in the either house, either in the Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. But ministers can vote only in whichever the house they have the membership. That is about Article 88. Regarding the qualification of the minister, a minister must have the membership either in the Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha. Without having the membership also, they can be minister for maximum how many months? Maximum 6 months. And ministers are different categories. Okay, students, ministers based upon their priority. Ministers based on their priority, what kind of priority they get, we can classify the ministers into 3 types. That means Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers can be classified into 3 categories based on their priority. Remember, this classification is not present in the Constitution. It is only for the convenient transaction of the union government business. So here, priority 1, topmost priority, priority 2, second, and priority 3, third priority ministers. Topmost priority ministers, cabinet ministers. Cabinet ministers. And second highest, Minister of State Independent. Minister of State Independent. And third priority, Deputy Ministers. Deputy Ministers, third priority. They are also known as Minister of State. Normally, Deputy Ministers will help to Cabinet Ministers. Okay. Each Cabinet Minister, they may have at least 1 Deputy Ministers or more than 1 Deputy Minister. Whereas MO is independent, he functions independently. All these 3 together known as Council of Ministers. All these 3 together known as Council of Ministers, friends. Like I said earlier, these Council of Ministers are responsible only to the lower house. Article 75, Clause 3. Now, nowhere mentioned about the Deputy Chief Minister. Deputy Chief Minister is also nothing but a minister. So, he don't have any separate oath. Next, regarding the Deputy Chief Minister, like I said earlier, ministers will be appointed by the governor. Central level, that is Article 75. Okay, whereas here, Article 75, and President will be helped by Council of Ministers, Article 74. Here, governor will be helped by Council of Ministers, that is Article 163, Clause 1. And according to Article 164, governor will help or governor will appoint the ministers on the advice of the Chief Minister. The same applicable to Deputy CM also. And Deputy CM generally, in why we go for the Deputy CM post most of the times? For example, if the government formed with coalition of the parties, then government, the ruling party may offer this Deputy Chief Minister post to their allies, their friends, so that they can calm down. Or else sometimes, for example, Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, 5 Deputy Chief Ministers are there, each representing 1 community. That means vote bank politics also, Deputy Chief Minister can be possible. So these are the possibilities regarding the employment, giving this Deputy Chief Minister. Regarding the Deputy Chief Minister appointment and removal, same like ministers. So far in India, out of 28 states, 11 states are having the Deputy Chief Minister. Even the Karnataka state is also having the Deputy Chief Minister, D.K. Shivkumar. Significance of the post. Why this Deputy Chief Minister's post is very important? It adds political stability because you are giving more priority to your political partners. and sometimes who work very loyal to the political party, that person will be rewarded with the deputy chief minister. It helps in the governance, and deputy chief minister will bring the political successor. It will groom this post, that future chief minister or future prime minister. That kind of leadership learning opportunity also will be there with respect to deputy chief minister. These are the positive. The first leader who appointed as a deputy chief minister, he was the Anugrah Narayan Sinha. He was from Bihar. He was the one who first appointed as a deputy chief minister. With respect to deputy prime minister, the first deputy prime minister to be appointed was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Later, people like Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, and Devilal and L.K. Advani, they've been appointed. Actually, this Devilal appointment as the deputy prime minister, it was challenged in the court. That was challenged in the court on the provisions that he did not take any other special oath. That was been challenged. Court observed that for deputy prime minister, there is no separate oath is required. The same oath of the minister, it applies to the deputy prime minister. And court also observed that deputy prime minister don't have any special powers similar to prime minister. The judgment about K.M. Sharma versus Devilal and others, 1990, the case about. What are the challenges related to the deputy chief minister post? Lack of clarity regarding the role and function. Okay, neither the constitution nor the government rules. Then there may be a potential conflict between the chief minister and deputy chief minister. Like in Karnataka, like before CM and deputy CM appointed, there was a potential conflict between the two. And deputy chief minister not having any accountability, because generally people or political party will ask accountability from the chief minister. So deputy chief minister not having the accountability. What kind of possible solution? The possible solution is government must frame guidelines regarding the deputy prime minister as well as deputy chief minister, and an effective communication must be established between the CM and deputy CM, and public awareness should be improved regarding the deputy CM, and there must be a mechanism to evaluate the performance of and outcomes of the deputy chief ministers. And deputy chief minister must be given some prominent role in cabinet committees or any other constitutional bodies. The conclusion is deputy CM position is very important position, and it can have impact on both government as well as governance. So even though this kind of importance is associated with this post, still there are a lot of challenges and issues. So by overcoming these issues, or by solving these issues, deputy chief minister post can become more effective and efficient in the coming days. So before we conclude this video, and we'll discuss about one MCQ. Okay, this MCQ, every day we'll discuss about one MCQ and one mains question. Consider the following statement about the post of the deputy CM. It is mentioned under the Constitution of India. First statement, the post is equivalent to cabinet minister in terms of rank. Third one, the deputy chief minister has access to the files or matters that are meant for the chief minister. Out of these three statements, which statement is incorrect? Which statement is incorrect? Answer, students. Next, mains question. What are the exceptions when the President of India is not bound by the errand advice of the Council of Ministers? That means the mains question is asking about the discretionary power of the President. This mains question is demanding. So, before we are ending this video, as we are reached to the conclusion of the video, before we are ending, what we discussed in this video? We discussed about Ajit Pawar giving the post of deputy chief minister. So we discussed broadly about two aspects: deputy chief minister significance, and what are the challenges associated with this, and about disqualification. And we also discussed about the minister, council of ministers, parliamentary form of government, and various constitutional provisions such as Article 53, 74, 75, 77 and 78. So this is about the detailed analysis regarding the issue related to Maharashtra political crisis.